All right, today what we're going to be doing is adding and subtracting decimals. Oh, what's this, you might say? That's called cursive. Yeah, I can't read it anyway. All right, so we're going to be adding and subtracting decimals, and that is a very, very important skill because you do it all the time. Let's say you've got some money, $1.50, and you've got $2. So we add it, right? We just add it together and we get something like this, right? Isn't $1.50 and $2? Wait a minute. This is not how you add decimals. And you already know that $1.50 and $2 is $3.50. So that's really important when we're adding decimals that aren't money, that we remember that we're going to have to add place value with the correct place value. Wholes with wholes, tenths with tenths, hundredths with hundreds. So I'm going to show you that today. We're going to start off, though, with the idea of estimating. Estimating decimal sums and differences is super important. For one reason, if you did have something like some money, things you're buying at the grocery store, and you're wondering, oh, do I have enough money in my pocket? You use estimation and use something called front-end estimation. Most of us don't realize we do it, but we do. We typically look at just the whole numbers. And because that's easier to add up in your mind. So if you have this in your grocery cart, $1.50, $2, $3.25, $4.75, you might just simply look at the whole numbers and go, it's around 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, or otherwise known as $10. That's called front-end estimation, when you look at only what's on the front end of the number, not the decimal. Okay? And it's a useful tool, and I'll tell you why. Not only can you say that, oh, this is going to cost me about $10, but you realize it's going to be a bit more. It will also be useful for checking mistakes when you're actually calculating. So this is estimating, front-end estimation. And front-end just means, again, front-end, it just means the whole number. So before the decimal point, this area over here. So now we're going to get to calculating. So if I actually have to calculate, remember again what I showed you, you don't want to do this. I'm going to add $1 with $2, $1.50 with $2, and I get $1.52, because that is not right. We know that is not right. So how do you fix that? Well, let's say you get something like this, 1.07 plus 1.538. 1.07 plus 1.538. I have to add those. First thing, I do front-end estimation. 1.07 is around 1 plus another 1. It's going to be around 2. It's important for making sure that I get a reasonable answer in the end. It's not the answer, it's not the calculation, but it's going to help me check for a reasonable, correct answer. So how do I make these add up? I can't do what I would normally do with numbers, which would look something like this, where you just line them up on the right and then you start adding. And you guys have been doing that since grade 1. Because the problem with that is here I'm adding a whole with a tenth. That doesn't work. So I'm going to have to make them look so that I'm adding ones with ones and tenths with tenths and so on. So the problem with that, though, is that I only have 2 digits here, and here I have 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go ahead and write 1.538, and I'm going to add it to 1.070. I added a trailing 0 here, trailing 0, so that I can make sure that I'm lining up my decimal. And that's essentially what you're doing, so that you're lining up place value correctly. You add trailing zeros to make them have the same number of digits after the decimal. So now it's just simple adding. 8 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 7 is 10. So I'm going to write a 0 and carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. And 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, you may realize here that I haven't got the right answer. 2,608. Is that anywhere close to my estimate of around 2? So that's a thing to help you clue in. Oh my gosh, yes, I have to do this correctly. I have to bring down the decimal point here. And I'm just going to simply place it directly below. And this seems much more reasonable, 2.608. Now I'm going to show you subtraction and a little bit more in the next video, so watch the next video.